going on, guys? It's your boy Sleazy here. And look, we've seen Unity go down a path that wasn't even this bad, and how bad they got absolutely roasted by all of their users and game developers using Unity engine to try and make video games and hopefully make, a few dollars. But it looks like Unreal is going to try and take the crown from them on the biggest bonehead move that someone could possibly make. And here we go. Unreal Engine coding standards require video game studios to use inclusive language in programming and documentation. How does a programming language be inclusive? You're changing everything about something that's just literally there to make things work into something that doesn't make things work. Like I remember, I know this was kind of a while ago, some weird PC guys were complaining about the slave and master drives. And now, granted, that doesn't exist anymore. And that's for, people as old as I am when we used to build PCs and you had to change the jumper on hard drives. But this is like coding language. There's nothing inclusive about it. But somehow Unreal Engine is trying to make coding language inclusive. But let's get into it because this is weird. Weird. In proving that identity politics have quite literally seeped into the very DNA of video games, Epic Games has taken to encouraging developers who use their popular Unreal Engine to employ inclusive language in their respective title programming codes. First added to the engine's official Discord standards in April 2022 release of the tool's fifth version recently brought to light courtesy of April 2024 update, this new inclusive word choice clause sees Epic Games encourage a curious word choice given that they consider the following of their standards to be mandatory users to use respectful, inclusive, and professional language when writing or documenting a given piece of code. The he, she, them, they, their, z, zer, then z, zer, zim, zam, zoom, bibbity, bobby, fucking boop. Like what? Then what? What? I know some people who use this. I'm gonna have to reach out to them. This is weird. Word choice applies when you name class, functions, data structures, types, variables, files, and folders and plugins. Explains Epic Games. It applies when you write snippets of a user-facing text for the UI error message and notifications. It applies when you write about code, such as in comments and changeless descriptions. Okay, that makes sense to me. Then again, I'm kind of an IT nerd, and my job involves me being highly technical. So, simple way to explain this for people who don't know. There are set standards, set base information that relies on itself to indicate what's going to happen next. If X, then Y. If you do thing, then thing happens. And before anybody spurgs out and tells me, well, technically, I'm trying to dumb this down for people who don't understand, who aren't in this and don't work with this stuff. To this end, Epic Games then provided guidance as to what words devs should use and not use in their writing. Do not use metaphors or similes that reinforce stereotypes. If 15% commit 45% of crime. I'm fucking kidding. Anywho, examples include contrast, black and white, or blacklist or whitelist. Those are core fundamentals. What? They began, do not use words that refer to historical trauma and lived experiences of discriminations, include slave master and nuke. What the fuck? This is like core fundamentalist shit here. How does this not? Turning to gender-related language, Epic Games advises devs to refer to hypothetical people as they, them, and their, even in their singular. How many of them were there? Well, there's only one. Was it female or female? Well, it was them. Them, plural. No, singular. But them is plural. But no, what the hell? And anything that is not a person as it and its, for example, a module, plugin, function, client, server, or any other software or hardware component. Further, users are asked to not assign a gender to anything that doesn't have one, nor use collective nouns like guys in that assumed gender. Holy sh! They're trying to change l- l- basic programming. And to also take care to avoid colloquial phrases that contribute arbitrary genders like a poor man's ex. Regarding slang, the standards call on devs to remember that words are being read by a global audience that may not share the same idioms and attitudes. And who you mean like the rest of the world who doesn't understand that? You mean like the rest of the world that thinks this entire stuff is stupid? You know, like the Spanish, the French, the Japanese, the Chinese, the Indians, the Middle East, where everything relies on gender language. How this is only a thing in Western countries that speak English, who have these retarded colleges who are fundamentally decaying the moral and literal base of civilization society. You mean like all those other countries? What are they supposed to do? Figure it out? Like what in the world? Like I refer to this sometimes here. When I took a trip over to Asia, they didn't understand any of this. This made zero sense, which is why they didn't watch the movies. This is why the movies, I always include the global number, because for some reason it's only slightly more than one country in the world, which means less of the planet is watching. A smaller percentage, a fraction of a fraction is watching the movies with all this crazy woke nonsense because it makes no sense to any other damn country on the planet. They're just like, this is dumb. I'm not doing it. But somehow, Epic Games think that this used to be all over the planet. Continuing the standards next to ask Unreal Engine users of their consciousness of their overloaded words, as many terms that we use for the technical meanings also have other meanings outside of technology. Well, that sucks for them. They can get the fuck over it. Examples include abort, execute, and native. They detail why you use words like these, always be precise and examine the context in which they appear. Well, you're aborting something, you're executing a command, or it's a native command, or you're looking at something native. I'm trying not to do network speak here. I might have to bring somebody on and do another rehash of this video in this article because I know they work in this and this makes no sense. Finally, the inclusive word choice clause closes out with a list of terminology that Epic Games believes should be replaced with better alternatives. Some terminology include the terms blacklist, alternative use, deny list, block list, exclude list, avoid list, unapproved list, forbidden list, and permission list. Well, hold on. Let's use some Epic Games thinking here. Block list, like you're blocking the blacks from entering, or the deny list, you're denying them access to the bathroom, like in the 50s. You're excluding them from entering certain spaces because of how they are. The avoid list, that sounds a lot like gentrification. That's foreboding now. The unapproved list, you're like the no fly list, or let's see, the forbidden list and the permission list. Sounds like if you're asking permission, they're your owner. Whitelist, allow list, include list, trust list, saved list, prefer list, approved list, permission list, master, primaries. Oh my, they really are just, they're out of their goddamn mind. Now I know for a fact there are probably some people in here that can talk to this. I know somebody I would consider a more of an expert than I, but I would genuinely like to hear anybody who has experience in this leave their thoughts in the comments section. And anybody who doesn't, I want to hear your thoughts on this or any questions you have. I want to make this a forum video on how utterly ridiculous this is for them to start trying to change programming language that has existed and built upon itself for so 60, 70, 80 years of coding language. I know, I mean, technically you can go back further than that, but anywho, that's my point. I want to hear this discussion in the comments section. But again, guys, while you're there, smash that like button. If you liked this video, if you liked my channel, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you share this one out. And until the next one, guys, be easy like sleazy.